Today is my first time of attending such workshop. I just came into the gender world, so I was delighted when they said I should come for this workshop.
It's been interesting, mostly because some of the things we discussed, the gender related violence, kind of embodied them. But as we went on in conversation today, I got to know some of the things that I didn't even know we are considered violence against women.
It was very educative. With this workshop, it has broadened my understanding of the whole topic of sexual exploitation and abuse and GBV and the need for the correct terminologies. Actually, using the correct terminologies is very important so as to provide focused research on those areas.
There were some words using as if they were that is what they normally refer to them, like this gender-based violence. Not saying that gender is referring to both male and female. I've always seen it as if that gender, we always look at it as if it's only female they're referring to. But from today's workshop, at least they've clarified now that gender refers to all.
There were key takeaways. For example, the trauma-induced care. Those were concepts I was hearing for the first time, and so I actually learned a lot. The process is similar to something I was doing recently, and there are actually similarities in terms of when you're interviewing or carrying out research or interviewing survivors.
Now I know how to address or talk to somebody that has been traumatized. There are some best practices on how to interview such a person as a researcher. Listen to them, you have to be patient with them. They are not too comfortable. They said for best practices, you do what they call peer group interview. That is, people that have similar experiences, let them be there. It will give that person some encouragement to want to really say what she wants to say.
We tend to use the word victim a lot. So yes, it's at the back of our mind that they're now called survivors, but till today or until yesterday, I still refer to them as victims. But key takeaway for me, wanting to notice how they're addressed as survivors and not victims.
As a lawyer, mostly on the part of duty of care, it is good to know that people's privileged information and all that are being taken into consideration in course of carrying out your research.
Ensuring that their consent is gotten at all times. That's a key takeaway for me, because most times you get their consent at the beginning of an interview session and then that's it. So you have to get their consent constantly and then also empathize with them.
How to use autonomy, confidentiality, sensitivity, and non-exploitation in terms of how to balance them in your research. And these are transferable skills that can be taken elsewhere. For instance, I'm a lawyer, so these skills that I was able to gain, I can use them in my work as well.
Presently, if you notice what is going around the world, the topic of gender equality is being of critical importance, and we cannot overemphasize how important that is. So coming down to Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, we notice that there is still a lot of lacuna when it comes to embracing gender topics and pushing women at the forefront of positions. Although I'm doing this as part of my PhD, but I saw a need to also enlighten people on how to go about researching issues of gender-based violence and violence against women and girls, to sensitize people on the best ethical, best practices on researching these issues. I think I'm actually very satisfied with one is with the turnout, another thing is with engagement. I also learned a lot from participants who attended the workshop, and all of the learning processes I've put them into consideration, and these are things I'm also going to be putting into my PhD. So it's a very, let's say, a win-win situation. I've learned a lot from them, and they also admitted that they learned a lot from me. So I was happy to see that people appreciated the training and engaged with it, and yeah, everything about it was perfect.